Thank you, Saki. It's a pleasure to introduce the next scenario. As you and Daniel mentioned before, we are progressing in the journey, and here EBSI will go a step further. We will go outside the educational field, which is a challenge and very brave. And EBSI will demonstrate how easy it is to entitle citizens with a license to practice in a concrete field. In this demo, Eva, a citizen from Cyprus, graduated in a Greek university, returns to her country to apply for a job. And she, after the registration on a national professional body, can present a verifiable credential that represents a license to practice. So now let's discover EBSI with the next demo. The floor is yours, Georgios.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yorgos Antoniou, and in my capacity as a technical project manager on behalf of Goldman Solutions in Cyprus, I will present to you the CY EBSI pilot project, which entails a full journey use case. Along with me is my colleague Yorgos Konstantinou, the solution architect and development leader, who will walk us through the demo. Mr. Nikos Voutsinas represents the Greek Universities Network, administrators of the ediplomas.gr portal, which is an umbrella portal for all students in Greece. I think covers around 24 state universities. Okay, a few words about the Cyprus Consortium that took part in the early adapters project. Palos is the overall project management and coordinating organization that specializes in innovation projects, in running innovations projects. Goldman Solutions, the company I represent, is the use case implementator that undertook the specification, analysis, and the development of the case. The University of Nicosia in Cyprus was responsible as part of this consortium of setting up the platform and the EBSI node in Cyprus. The Deputy Ministry of Research, Innovation and Digital Policy was the fourth and final partner in our consortium that helped enroll the project in the Cyprus government digitalization strategy program and facilitated the project. Now let's meet Eva, the license to practice scenario. Eva is a Cypriot citizen, engineering graduate from a Greek university, which is a very common case as Greek universities are very popular for Cypriot students. She returns to Cyprus after graduation to apply for a career job. She is required, however, to register with a national professional body that awards a license to practice an engineering profession in Cyprus. For certain professions in Cyprus, it's not enough to have a degree or a diploma to embark on a career. Professions like engineers, architects, medical professionals, accountants, lawyers have to be also certified by a national professional organization and in order to be licensed to exercise their profession. The license this license is granted on the basis of the assessment and the validation of the holder's academic credentials. Once Eva is issued with the license to practice, she can support her job applications by authorizing any prospective employers to view and verify her license. Now, to give you an idea about the scale and the impact this application has in Cyprus, is a very small country, compared to the rest of the member states in Europe. In our particular case, where Eva is an engineering and computer science engineering graduate. Graduates in that area of studies, in excess of 1,500 are applying every year for ETEC license. ETEC is the Cyprus Technical and Scientific Chamber that is the body authorized to issue the license on these occasions. Relevant to the specific engineering diploma use case, we have identified Cyprus trusted accreditation organization, trusted issuers, including universities, etc., in excess of 30 in number. And these numbers justify why we selected Greece on this occasion to demonstrate the interoperability across the borders of our pilots. You can see that Greece is the second most popular country for Cyprus students today. After 35% of graduates from Cypriot universities, 30% from Greek, and still over 15% from UK. Obviously, the last number is changing following the Brexit, and we are expecting that more graduates, that number will be taken over by European universities. Now, talking about authorities, professional authorities or associations in Cyprus that issue licenses, we have identified over 12 major associations. And these include, as I mentioned earlier on, the medical associations for the doctors, the lawyers, for the barristers of law, accountants, and so on. So we can see that these numbers, I mean, they give us an idea of how scalable this application that we've chosen for you to develop and to demonstrate to you it is. Now, what is the problem with the current process? The current process in place is mostly manual, partly digitized, but not fully digitalized. And that's got negative effects on all stakeholders, the students, graduates, the administrators, and so on. And to just picking the top three issues that we've got is the delays. Currently, graduates quote up to delays in excess of 3 months actually to have their license issued, because they've got to submit papers, notarized documents, proof of IDs, certificates, etc., that are required. Then on the other side, the administrative part has to do the verification and assess those manually and then issue the diplomas. Obviously, this process comes with administrative costs. A lot of costs that can be avoided provided this process is digitalized and automated. And then the most serious of all is errors and fraud. Obviously, we want to boost the citizens' confidence in this process. How we can do it? I mean, we can do it by offering a reliable alternative, an efficient alternative, an available alternative to everybody that they can trust. And through this, they can feel that they are in full control of their own data. Another issue is the fact that today's process, the manual process, is not a live process, meaning that validity or grading or revocation, etc., this cannot be provided in real time. Again, requires manual inquiries, and that take days and weeks to be concluded. An overview of Eva's journey in the picture of the that has been you've seen today that represents the verifiable credentials life cycle and the whole concept. We will see Eva's journey as a student being registered as a Cypriot student, a Cypriot citizen first of all, then as a student requesting her diploma credentials, following that requesting her professional credentials and her license to practice her job, then applying for a job and using the credentials acquired to claim the job. We can see throughout this journey that Eva is following, we will demonstrate the role of the issuers of these credentials on behalf of on behalf of the government, for example, starting with issuing the ID. The universities, the University of Athens in Eva's case, that will be issuing her diploma VC, the edX contribution in issuing the license to practice, and then the way that we developed a way for the viewers and prospective employers to be able to verify the portal without having to be part or enrolled or onboarded onto EBSI. The roles now are distributed per member state, as explained earlier on. Always in the center, you've heard that today lots of times. Center of our case is the holder, is Eva, the graduate who is mobile, who can move across borders to study, to work, to live across Europe. We give the holder the capability to configure a wallet, to request the issuance of the required credentials. We give them the ability to save them and share them as they want to. On either side of the border, we've got the trusted accreditation organizations in Cyprus. We've got the governmental ministries of interior responsible for registering issuers for verifiable IDs. The Ministry of Commerce that registers issuers of verifiable license to practice. The Ministry of Education that registers issuers of diploma VCs, universities. And on the corresponding opposite side in Greece, again, we've got the Hellenic Ministry of Education involved that registers issuers of diplomas, verifiable credentials, universities. In our case in Greece, we are lucky that there is the front portal of ediplomas.gr that represents that a student can log in through this portal and have access to his or her diploma from any university in Greece. Issuers employed for the purpose of this use case, and on the Cyprus end, we've got Ariadne, which is the government citizens portal that issues verifiable IDs, and EDEC, the scientific chamber that will be issuing, you'll see issuing license to practice credentials. And on the Greek side, the eDiplomas.gr that I've just mentioned earlier on. Now, what you're about to see now in the demo that we're going to walk through to you is the issuance of first of all, is the creation of the EBSI wallet, which we have developed in-house in our project. Is a web wallet, PC-based wallet. Is a pilot wallet that we have developed for the purpose of this pilot. We'll see Eva will create her wallet and she will claim her VID through the government's portal Ariadne. She will use then, as a second step, she will use her ID credentials to claim her diploma from the Greek university that she graduated from. And then having her ID and her diploma credentials stored in her wallet, he can apply for the license to practice, which will be issued by EDEC. Fourth step is the issuing of the license to practice by EDEC's administrator. And the fifth and most important step for Eva and every graduate is the opportunity to be able to present his or her credentials to an employer to claim her first career job. So at this point, we see again, we're gonna start our demo in a minute with the help of Yorgos Konstantinou. Eva is, as I said, in the middle of our scenario. She's already applied for an employer, for a job, and the employer is requesting for her EDEC license membership via email in this case. So traditionally, as I said, Eva should have gone the manual way. What we are providing now, Eva, is the opportunity to communicate with, to interact with the government portal, Ariadne, to obtain her ID, with the e-diplomas, the Greek University Networks portal, to get her diploma credentials, then with the scientific engineering chambers to get her license. And in order to do that, we've enabled these entities, these issuers, to onboard EBSI. So at that point, since the ecosystem is formed around Eva, Eva will create her wallet and claim her first credential. Yorgos, if you want to take over.
Yes, hello everybody. As Yorgos has just explained, Eva has returned to Cyprus from Greece after graduating, and she's about to enter her journey to obtain her license to practice. So the first thing she has to do is to create her web wallet. We assume that she has already done this. And so the next step is to go to the Cyprus government portal and ask for her citizen verifiable ID. So she goes to the Ariadne, which is a Cyprus portal offering several online services. She logins with her existing credentials as a Cypriot citizen that she has already obtained from the Ministry of Interior. And once she logins to it, she has the option to log in with her wallet. The portal redirects her to her web wallet, and she opens it using her PIN number that she has already created, and she asks to authorize the connection to the portal. She enters again her PIN number and authorizes the connection, and is returned back to the portal where she has the option to request for her citizen VID. A request is submitted to the portal's admin. So the next step is for the admin of the government portal to check the request and proceed with issuing her VID. So in this step, the admin of the government portal logins with his admin credentials and checks for any pending request from wallet holders. He finds one, he opens it, and the details from the population database are filled in automatically, but her date of birth, her full name, and a verifiable ID is issued to Eva. So Eva, when she goes back to her wallet, and checks the notifications, she will see one from Ariadne, the Cyprus government portal. She checks the notification and checks the details. This is the JSON structure of the verifiable credentials that was issued by the government portal, including her citizens' details, and she decides to accept it. And once she does that, the credential is stored in her wallet. So the next step is forever to ask for the issuance of her diploma credential. And in order to do this, she has to go to the e-diplomas portal in Greece, which represents a number of universities in Greece. And by presenting her VID that she just got from Cyprus, the portal will be able to identify her and issue her diploma. So Eva now goes to e-diplomas portal in Greece, where the portal has the option to log in with your wallet. She chooses this option and is redirected back to her wallet. She enters her PIN to open the wallet and authorize the connection to the portal in Greece. She is warned that by doing so, her verifiable ID will be shared to them, and this is needed in order for the portal to identify who she is. Once it's authorized, it returns back to the portal and requests her diploma VC. She chooses the university she has graduated from. She chooses the details she wants to be included in her VC and makes a request for her VC diploma. The portal automatically creates and sends a notification to Eva that her VC has been issued. And Eva can see the new notification. It is about her diploma VC. She can open the details and look at what it has been included in it, and she can choose to accept it and store it in her wallet. So now Eva has two credentials issued to her: the citizen ID from the government of Cyprus and the Europass diploma from Athens University. Now, the next step is forever to ask for the issuance of her license to practice in Cyprus. In order to do this, she has to go to the DEC portal and log in with her wallet again. And by doing so, she will be sharing her VID and diploma credentials to them. So she goes to the DEC portal, the Cyprus Scientific Chamber. She logins with her wallet. Choose the option to log in with her wallet. The portal redirects her back to her wallet. She enters the PIN number to open her wallet, and she is asked to authorize the connection to the portal and that her VID and diploma will be shared to them. Once she authorizes the connection, she is redirected back to the portal, where she now has the option to request for her license to practice. A request is submitted to the admin of the portal. So at the next step, the admin of the DEC portal will log in and check whether there are any requests from wallet holders and issue the license to practice. So in this demo, the admin of EDEC signs in with his credentials and checks for any pending requests from wallet holders. There is one found. He looks at the citizen ID details that it has been submitted during the authorization, and the diploma details that she's a graduate from Athens University as a computer scientist graduate. So he decides to issue her license to practice diploma, license to practice VC. He enters some details about the license to practice, the profession she is allowed to exercise in Cyprus, and he issues the license to practice VC. Once this is done, Eva receives a notification of her wallet that there is a pending VC to be accepted, and once she accepts this, it will be stored again in her wallet. So now she has 3 credentials. And the next step is, as the whole thing was initiated by receiving an email from an employer to present her license to practice. She can do this using her wallet. She can present her license to practice to an employer, and the employer would be able to check for this presentation from the employer's portal that we have developed, and which helps everybody, anyone in Cyprus or other EU country, to register to this portal with a simple email and password, and see if any presentations from wallet holders have been shared to them. So Eva will send a presentation of her license to practice, and through this portal, the specific employer will be able to view this license to practice. So in the demo, we see that this is the email that Eva has received from the employer requesting her EDEC license to practice. So Eva enters her wallet. And she goes to the presentations. Okay, these are the credentials that already has acquired. She goes to the presentations tab and chooses to create a new presentation. She chooses the license to practice VC and proceeds with creating a new presentation. She has to enter the email address of the employer that has requested this presentation, and her wallet password to sign in order to be able to sign it, and the hours that will be available in the portal for viewing by the employer. The presentation is created and sent to the portal, and also an email is sent to the employer informing him that a presentation is pending for him to view. This is the email that the employer has received with a link to the portal that he can use to view any presentations mapped to his email address. So assuming that the employer has already registered to this portal, he can go on to login and check for any presentations from wallet holders. So the employer logins with his credentials to the portal. And the portal will display to him any presentations that have that are mapped to his email address. In this case, there is one from Eva, and he can look at the details. This is the license to practice as a computer scientist, the computer scientist profession in Cyprus, and so he can look at the details. It was issued by ETEC, and there are the proofs that can be used to validate the truth, the genuinity of the verified credentials. He can also there is an option to validate this. That means it will check the EBSI for the trusted issuer that the proofs are valid, and he can then decide whether he will accept EVA to work with him or not. This is the end of the demo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yorgo. Okay, next steps. We're nearly at the end of the presentation. Obviously, throughout our journey, we experienced the interest of the people, of the listeners, of the stakeholders, those we managed so far to share what we've done using the EBSI capabilities. And it looks like whatever we do, I mean, our conclusion is that whatever you do with the public good in mind that involves innovation is a key, provides the key ingredients to inspiration. So many ideas we are currently dealing with coming from the public, from people, from the private and public sectors. Our next steps. Definitely taking the diploma use case to productions. The terms are currently being finalized. We're going to obviously scale it up in terms of issuers, enrollment, and mitigate the process migration risks and the resistance. As you know, these are always the case. Second big step, parallel step, is evolution and migration of the web wallet that we've developed in-house to Android and iOS wallet apps. At the same time, obviously, being a pilot application so far, it needs UI user interface improvements in terms of design and functionality, as well as, and more importantly, security enhancements. Third aim is quick wins and funding. We need funding, obviously. Funding was our biggest challenge of our journey so far. We are performing several feasibility studies on leads that we received from mainly from the private sector. And last but not least is our intention, and our efforts now are focusing in participating in relevant Digital Europe program calls, which are open, in order to capitalize, share, and enhance our acquired expertise and know-how. We are aspiring to positively influence the EBSI evolution. Thank you very much. This is the end of our presentation. For any information, inquiries, any further details, feel free to contact us. Our emails are displayed here for information, and we are ready to do more and more with your help and with everybody's involvement. Thank you.